if COVID-19 uncertainty and lockdown wasn't enough, some significant earthquakes today, Diane.
Yeah, earlier today, in fact, 2:27 this morning, one was felt just off east coast of the North Island. Lots of people have felt that. And just taking a look at my Facebook feed, friends saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe what I woke up to.
Yeah.
But also then there's been another one this morning just out off Northland, near the Kermadec Islands, 7.4 metre shake. So there is a civil defence warning in place, particularly around that Northland area.
So, hey, if that's something which has affected you, we'd love to get your feedback. 8168 is the number to text. Start with the first word, Rima. Tanya Unkovic, though, joins us on the program. Tanya, did you feel the earthquake this morning?
No, but funnily, I woke up 5 minutes after it happened, and I was lying in bed going, now, why am I awake? Why am I awake? So I picked up my phone to check the time, and I confess I did look at Facebook and then saw the feed, and so that kept me awake for about another hour and a half as I was listening and things. So, of course, I had to wake husband and tell him, did you feel anything? He goes, no, I was asleep.
No, I was asleep. Thank you for waking me up to ask me whether or not I slept through it. Well, I mean, that's a good strategy. I mean, these are uncertain times, though, and it can be... a little bit difficult to cope with things. Literally, people are a little bit shaken by circumstances at the moment.
They sure are. And things are happening so suddenly, aren't they? Like, how sudden can an earthquake be? And our latest lockdown was so sudden and no one expected it. So everyone is actually feeling, excuse the pun, but feeling a little bit shaky this week and going, oh my God, what next? What do we do? How do we plan? So there is a lot of uncertainty around there.
Yeah, so there is a lot of fear out there. I mean, what would your advice be right now to those who are feeling that?
I always say everything starts with a decision, and make the decision to not let fear rule you. Just say stop it, because the more we carry on with these sorts of patterns of fear and worry, it becomes a part of who we are. And we all know the brilliance of prayer and how when we feed our faith and prayer and confidence within, confidence from God, then that will grow our own certainty in ourselves, that no matter what happens in our life, no matter how quickly something happens, we've got tools immediately to do something about it.
Let's look at some of those practical tools, because God's designed our bodies to respond to an emergency. When something goes wrong, like an earthquake, our hormones respond. We get pumped full of adrenaline. How do we calm down after our bodies have triggered this type of response?
The fastest thing to do is actually to stop and be aware of your breath. I mean, if you're not in immediate danger, then, of course, you've got to do something about acting, right? But if you're not in immediate danger, stop and breathe. Just take the time to pause. If you've got a small prayer, to say it within a couple of words, but definitely start controlling your breath and just notice that, because changing our physiology is the fastest way to change how we feel. So if you've got that, practice the pause, breathe, put your shoulders back. I am safe.
What about, sometimes things are just uncomfortable and that fear really does come in, and I'm thinking about, particularly the earthquakes. I mean, sometimes we have to just be okay with how we're at that stage, right?
Yes. I always encourage people to get comfortable with the discomfort. Life is always going to bring us situations that are going to create discomfort and pain. And it's about learning how to be resilient and knowing that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens that is out of your control, you've got it within to learn to recognize, this is one of these situations that I can so easily go into a place of and start catastrophizing, or I can choose to actually go, you know what? I'm going to choose not to do this. Oh, hello, fear. Here you are. Let me see what you're going to teach me. I
mean, fear is perhaps a natural response to uncertainty. Gosh, what should I do? Is there a tsunami warning? Should I go run up a hill somewhere? But actually, in the long term, fear doesn't help us. It's not a long-term strategy.
No, it's not, because we're going to learn this pattern of running from fear. And that's why I always encourage people to get comfortable with fear. Reframe it. Don't make it such a big thing. Knowing that you can choose certainty, calm, and other ways to respond instead of fear. So choose to feed all of those strategies. You know what they say, choose faith over fear. It's that same thing.
And that is such a good thing to keep in mind, isn't it? Now, last week you and I were talking about our stories and actually how we can change our stories. Does this work in this situation as well?
Without doubt, because we often carry these beliefs, I'm no good in a situation like this, or I always panic and all that. Well, flip it around. Actually, I'm very resilient and I'm really good in situations when I need to think fast and act fast. So start building this belief in yourself that actually you are resilient, because you've probably already been through a whole lot of bad stuff in life already and you're still here. That's the fact.
Another important thing, I suppose, because this is something which is impacting all of the nation in different ways, certainly lockdown and now these earthquakes. But know that you're not doing it alone. I suppose reach out to other people who may also be struggling and support each other through this, right?
Absolutely. Support each other, but also remember to lift each other up and not feed each other's fear, because that could also become very easy to do. So make sure that you've got some good, strong people in your crowd.
Tanya, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Some really good strategies there to help strengthen ourselves in times of uncertainty. I mean, look, I think we can all agree that things will still be a little uncertain for a little bit longer. So some wonderful tools there. We'll make sure we get that one up on our website later today so people can check that out again. Thanks again for being a part of the show.
You are so welcome.